Hello, Taupo. I'm Councillor Duncan of your local Taupo District Council. Now we've got a bit of chaos going on right now called amalgamation with the Head Start proposals due 9th of August. That's the imposed deadline by government for us to have the opportunity to decide our futures as a council. It's really quite an important thing for local government, really. The last time such a big thing happened here was Auckland in 2010. And the way forward after 9th of August could matter to you. In fact, we have a council meeting this coming Tuesday, 30th of June, to give the direction forward, so you may want to tune into that. These amalgamations perhaps more matter to the likes of me, actually, because in a couple of years I could easily be out of a job. But that's totally all right by me if we get a better result than now, because that is the hope, really, to simplify local government and put these unjustifiable rate rises behind us. You may have filled out the survey put out by this council due last week, and that's fine. We'll be getting a look at the results soon. I hope something useful comes out of that survey. I did not agree with the way it was put together and released by staff, so we'll just have to see. Please realise that just because we have elections every 3 years does not always correspond to those you elect having meaningful oversight of how this council runs. And that is everything from public surveys to multi-million-dollar expenditures. In the meantime, I would also like to introduce you to my Auntie Anne, who is a retired UK local politician from the North Somerset Council, population of about 200,000, who has been watching our Taupo District Council happenings for a few years, including my own exploits. And she has something to say about transparency and freedom of expression in council chambers, which I say is still a problem here and many other places by the sounds of it.
Thank you, Duncan, for asking me to join your chat. And I'm very impressed with you as what you're doing as a councillor. I in the UK have had 25 years of it, and have just lost my seat to the Greens. And I think the most important thing that I've learned as a councillor is that you have to listen. You have to listen to what your electorate are saying, and you actually really have got to represent them because they voted for you. And I think the important thing that I've learned, and I adhere to it still, is you've got to accept scrutiny, and you've got to share things, and you've got to be really scrutinised in depth, and you cannot, which they've been trying to do over here, as you know, by stopping people talking and bringing up something they wish to be on the agenda. I would say that's a very dangerous route. They tried it here, and we actually voted against it and said, no, we've got to be upfront, and we've got to be accountable to our electorate. We're the ones that are representing their views, and they have to be absolutely assured that we are doing it. And that's what we had here. And we had, when we started to sort of close the doors, if you like, and not allow things to be going on to an agenda because it didn't suit us, there was a lot of problems. I can only speak from my experience of it. And in actual fact, even though I'm no longer a councillor, people are ringing me up to ask me what they should do because their voices are not being heard. They're not allowed to be heard now. So we've gone back to where we're losing a bit of freedom of speech.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, that clearly that sort of thing is happening here to a degree, and I perceive that it's that closing down of freedom of speech, including for councillors, is really being shut down over there.
You mustn't let that happen. I mean, I know New Zealand is obviously a different country than here, but you've probably seen all the issues that we've had in this country with diversity, and resulting in this terrible stabbing of this young lad of 18. And if you're not careful, groups will doesn't matter how small or how big they are. If you let that in and it's not scrutinized and people do not see that you're open and accountable, you've got to be accountable, and that means everybody is a counsellor and the actual hierarchy. All the people who run the council have got to be accountable, because you really don't want it to go any other way, because it's dangerous. And you can see the beginnings of it now in New Zealand. And you can only have about half the people to actually starting it off, and then it grows.
Well, thanks for your observations, Auntie, and I know you've been keeping an eye on what's been happening in New Zealand and Little Taupo too. So, thanks for your comments, and we'll hear from you another time.
Yes, I should look forward to that. I'll know what to do next time.
Thank you, Auntie Anne, for those insights. Anyway, look, if you want to hear more of my views and news, and perhaps hear from more anecdotes from Auntie Anne, follow me on Facebook or head over to my website, duncandostaupo.com, and email subscribe. See you later.